Hello everyone, today we will do the most common and popular makeup, and it is smoky eyes. We start preparing the face with Bioderma Micellar water. I love this brand because it cleans well from makeup and also prepares the skin for applying makeup. We clean the face along the massage lines without stretching the skin. We pay detailed attention to nasolabial folds, neck. Then we flip the cotton pad and clean upper movable eyelid. After Bioderma Micellar water, it has to be washed off with water or cleanser. I love to use this brand, Johnson. It is the best brand on the market now. I use for sensitive skin so it doesn't irritate the skin and face, and there are no allergic reactions. That's why I always choose for sensitive skin. Apply along the massage lines. Before applying makeup, you should definitely moisturize your skin. In this case, I will use Bobbi Brown base. It is a very versatile base, suitable for all skin types. It moisturizes well, prepares for makeup. I love this base very much, and it also smells very nice. I recommend it to my clients, and they also like how it smells. Always remember, never put your fingers in the jar with the base. You have to use this thing. You take a small amount, put it on your hand, warm it up a little, and apply it to your face. You can use brushes, but I like to apply with my fingers because it helps to feel the texture of the skin. I also can feel how moisturized the skin is, skin imperfections or dryness.
Соответственно, когда я провожу пальчиками, я чувствую, есть ли рельеф, есть ли сухость.
The model has very well-prepared skin. The skin is not dry and has no imperfections. I will keep in mind what kind of cosmetics to apply and which areas need to be paid attention to. Prepare the skin around the eyes for applying. Never avoid the movable eyelid zone. Be sure to always tint. I really like to use the concealer of the Cyan brand. It is a Korean brand, number 1.5. This color is suitable for everyone who is of Slavic appearance. If your skin is darker or lighter, then you will need to add a tint. Apply and level the eyelid color with a thin layer. Why? When the skin color has its own shade, they can adversely affect the shade of the makeup. That is, if there are veins or brown, blue, red shades of the eye, they are always mixed with the makeup, and already beautiful shading may not work. That's why, first of all, we even out the skin color and then do the makeup. We look very carefully at the area of the inner eyelid. Sometimes, due to an indentation or speed, they do not pay attention to this area. So when you pull the skin, you can see folds from the concealer. That is why first we work with our finger and see if there are folds. Because due to the mimic structure of the eyelid, there can be a rolling of the concealer. Before fixing the concealer, you have to definitely work it out and then fix it with a light layer of powder. In this case, I'm using Charlotte Tilbury powder, shade 2 medium. Now we will work with this shape of the eye makeup. I really like to apply the product so that the makeup is not only long-lasting, but also so that the colors are revealed in the best way. Because if you apply shadows on a clean eyelid, it will not turn out bright and not clear shades.
Красивых, не ярких, не четких оттенков.
So it is the best to use some kind of base for the purity of the color. The base can be universal color if it is a salon makeup, such as brown or beige or colored, if you want to enhance the color of your makeup. We will go through detailed colored bases in the next lesson. Now we will perform salon smoky eyes makeup when the client wants a more intense, interesting one. Since it is very interesting to stand out now, clients are becoming more daring. So we must be ready for any situation. To apply the base, you need to choose a brush with a flat base and a flat edge, but if you want to make a smoky more transparent, delicate, cute, then it is better to apply with another brush. Applying the shade with chaotic movements. And if you want a dense, rich, bright smoky, then just use a flat brush. I collect a small amount of shade on a brush, distribute it so that you have an even distribution over the entire base of the pile. If you just dipped and applied, then you will make spots that will have different color densities, and then it should be clean and blend slightly with the other side. We also hold in our hands a denser brush in order to achieve a beautiful and soft shading. We apply shadows where we will have the darkest color. That is the outer side of the eye. First, we distribute, and when you feel that there is no color left on the brush, we go to the inner corner and then raise the motionless eyelid.
Подниматься лучше всего кисточку ставить на середину, то есть ваша складочка века должна находиться на середине кисточки. То есть представляем, что тут у нас вот середина.
Put the brush in the middle.
И мы ставим ее на складочку.
You get the shading and application with a fluffy brush. In a chaotic movement, slightly refine it.
Пушистой кисточкой в хаотичном движении чуть-чуть дорабатываем.
Take the second layer and distribute it on the movable eyelid.
И распределяем на подвижном веке.
When you use the bases under the shadows, they have a slightly sticky effect. So you don't need to move the brush very chaotically. As the brush sticks and dewy to this, you can also make the shade you want.
Чтобы кисточка не тянула за собой кожу, да, то есть вот этого не было, потому что эта гармошка тоже может отпечатать некрасивый цвет, я немножко придерживаю пальчиком, да, его натягиваю веко и распределяю. Открой глазки.
I used to face creamy, matte eyeshadow as the base. I start to do the
обратно
same with the
наношу
second
на
eye.
кисть, начинаю от внешнего уголка и двигаюсь постепенно маленькими шажочками к внутреннему уголку.
When there is no more color on the brush, it gives a light, transparent haze. Always in makeup, we have to move the color to the crease of the eyelid.
То есть складка века — это не кожица где-то там вы нашли, а именно та дырочка
This is the space between the eyeball and the orbital bone of the eye.
орбитальной костью глаза. И когда на кисточке нету цвета, мы можем либо повернуть и двигаться от складки века, либо же ставить кисточку на середину нашей складочки века. Тушевочной кистью чуть-чуть распределяем.
I want to warn you, if you have never worked with cream eyeshadows, then you have to first start with the base on the pencil, because the pencil is more flexible and it doesn't dry out like cream shadows. So you have time to shade. But if you are using creamy eyeshadow, then you need to know that the shadows dry out and lose their thickness and may not be distributed as you would like. Adding brightness.
За счет приклеивания
we apply these creamy shadows to the lower eyelid. We start with the darkest shade of the ciliary edge of the lower eyelid, finishing the shading on the border with a cleaner brush.
Более чистенькой кистью.
Moving to the inner corner and connecting it to the outer corner of the upper eyelid.
Соединяю с внешним уголком нашу тушевочку верхнего века.
Remember that the lower eyelid must be one with the upper eyelid.
Нижнее веко всегда должно быть единое с верхней тушевочкой.
When blending the lower eyelid, you can go lower, squint a little, not below this dimple.
Немножко прищурь глазки. Вот так. Когда вот моделька прищуривает, образовывается вот такая ямочка, да, вот здесь. То есть мы видим уже...
We see how the eyeball and bone are separated. Before this volume, we can safely, without fear of overdoing, lower the shading. If you lower the shading, then the eyes will be more expressive. If you will lose volume, if you have done a very bright makeup, your eyes will be in their place. Then we connect with the upper eyelid. To blend the lower eyelid with cream shades, it is better to do it with a flat brush with a very fine edge. If the edge is wide, then it will be too fluffy, which is good for those cases when you just want to blend. But if you complicate your makeup and make it brighter and more saturated, then only flat brushes. I really like to start with working out a fixed eyelid, that is to do first shading and then gradually complicate it adding color and brightness. Then be careful not to overdo it. Because if you start right away with dark shades, you can shade in the wrong place and the dark shade is more difficult to remove. Before I start applying the base color, I will apply a color that will beautifully connect to the skin and makeup, which will ever have a color. I choose a warm brown shade and use a brush and using softness, gently touching the skin.
И при помощи мягкости, да, еле притрагиваясь к коже, на мини-уроке по тушевке, по вуальчатой тушевке мы этот момент проходим.
It is very important to feel your hands. Somewhere I need to press harder, somewhere I press a little, and I work in the shape of the eye. First, we stroke the eyelids, so a soft shading is obtained. Then we blend in the direction of the eyelashes, and then you can come up with which direction you will have more aggressive or horizontal. But your direction should be no lower than the lower eyelid. That is, we can do this or that.
Но не ниже, чем наша вот эта самая нижняя точка нижнего века.
It is very good to work with a brush that has a narrow end. Somewhere it is wider, somewhere it is narrower. Because you first apply with the white part of the shadow, but with the small part, you refine it. When you want to stretch out the corner of the eye or complete some small detail. Therefore, the brush should be in the shape of a candle. When you make the makeup brighter, it is the best to press the brush and shade. First, apply shade gently. When you work your eyelids gently, you get cleaner makeup. It doesn't matter what the makeup will be, colored, bright, or black smoky. If you have very densely applied shadows on a fixed eyelid, the makeup will look more aggressive, not as you intended. If you have a very rich black makeup, but here you apply a light shading, the makeup will look cute and neat, romantic.
Макияж смотрится мило, нежненько, романтичненько, даже так скажу.
But if you overdo it, then you will get heaviness on the eyes and the effect of tired eyes. Put the brush in the direction of the ciliary line and pull it towards the temples. Then you get a very bright finish of the makeup. Please note that I hold the brushes perpendicularly only when I want to paint something, but when I want to easily blend it, I hold it perpendicularly. The lower eyelid refers to the complexion of the makeup. It is close to the skin color. There should be the same as on the upper eyelid. Therefore, we just go along the border of creamy shadows. If you have this color is more calm and it is the main one, then you can apply it from its brightest point. If it is a transitional color, it will be enough for us to walk through the eyelid. Now we're going to decorate the makeup, make the main color. I first advise you to make a beautiful shading. Rather than what you choose a bright color and will shade, as you will get dirty shades.
Тот цвет, который красиво входит в цвет кожи, и затем этот цвет красиво уже войдет в наш яркий основной цвет.
Today we will be decorating our makeup with the beautiful emerald color. I believe this is the color of this fall. This is a very chic color and will also match the model's eye color. Notice how I work with the color and what I use for the given eye shade. If a woman has brown eyes, we never generalize to brown. Brown eyes are the most difficult color because it has a lot of nuances and a lot of shades, such as marsh green. If we want to emphasize green, then it is better to work with contrasting shades. I take a flat brush, take the shade in a zigzag motion, and pull the eyelid down for even application and gradually glue the color.
Поэтому для равномерного нанесения необходимо натянуть веко и приклеивать постепенно цвет.
We pick up the color and be sure to shake off the brush and glue the color. When we want the makeup to be in more saturated colors, it must be glued. If we want more airy, then we must iron it. We get to the last lashes and notice that this color is much darker than our transition color. Accordingly, in order to shade them, you need to take an additional shade so that is suitable for both shades. Because if we blend this color, it will add extra blending time and ugly shades can come out. For shading, it is best to choose additional shades. Therefore, I bring it to the border, to the crease, blend the borders a little. I do it with printing movements, slightly overlaying the layer on the previous color. I stretch the eyelid and check that everything is even and the residues go into the outer corner of the eye.
Остаточки у меня входят в внешний уголочек глазика.
There is nothing to make a saturated color. Saturation in the inner corner of the eye can add heaviness to the makeup. We got a circle. I blend the borders a little with a small brush and glue with shadows with a second layer. Apply the shade to the second eye. First, we glue the fixed eyelid, that is, the very center. Then we move to the outer corner of the eye. Where the crease is, we stop. Align the texture, align the shades so that is evenly applied to the entire eye. We move to the inner corner of the eye, since the color should already be completed here. With the rest of the brush, we beautifully finish the eyelid. I got a crease here.
Я утыкнулась в складочку. Но как только веко спокойное, складочка у меня вот здесь.
Therefore, we align the color on a stretched eyelid, but apply a shade on a calm eyelid to the crease. Finishing with patting movements. Once we have achieved color saturation and uniformity, we can feather the edge. When the brush is clean, we do a patting motion, adding to the previous color, and with a small brush I blend the borders.
И потом маленькая кисточка, чуть-чуть можно так хоп-хоп границы размягчить, потому что если вы не размягчите
If you do not soften the borders, you will succeed so that the transition color does not enter and cannot be shaded, and there will be a clear border that is very difficult to remove. The feathering between the fixed eyelid and the moving eyelid, we will add a purple tint. I use a small brush and glue the color on the borders too. That is, I do not want to make the makeup heavier, so I took a small brush and add shade with small touches. We will blend the borders of our makeup with this color from the Tarte palette. This is my favorite palette and I use it all the time. We tighten the boundaries between the fixed eyelid and the movable eyelid using a small brush. Since I need to finalize the feathering by combining the two colors, accordingly, the movements are either very small and dense. First, I glue the color and blend it with light movements, a little bit.
Подметаю даже, так скажу. Буквально чуть-чуть. Хлоп-хлоп-хлоп-хлоп и чуть-чуть шмяк-шмяк.
When shading, the main thing is not to rush. Do not use large brushes. They are only suitable for salon makeup. When you have one shade and it is shaded. But if you want to work with different complex combinations of colors, then you need small brushes and do a detailed study. We rise a little on the motionless eyelid, pulling out our color.
Чуть-чуть добавлю на уголочек, поэтому немножко переходный цвет возьму посветлее и сделаю такую протяжечку.
I will take a slightly longer brush and draw out our corner of the eyelid. The corner of the eye extends from the ciliary edge and then to the median from the high point, as if you connect these two lines. We darken a little. Also, on the crease of the eye, there is a light color.
Чуть-чуть.
And a slightly beige shade to complete the makeup, so that it doesn't end with a too dark shade in the inner corner of the eye, as this is not very correct. Therefore, we must apply color to the corner of the eye. Then everything will be softer and easier to shade. We connect the borders with a fluffy brush, stroking it. You can stretch or move a little. If you move the brush to this area or that area, the shading will go there. If you want to stretch to the temple, then we blend to the temple. If you want to stretch to the shading towards a motionless eyelid, then we move it towards it. We begin to make the second eye. Darken it a little and draw out our shading. If you put it perpendicularly, then just pull the strip. But if you tilt the brush, you have a strip and shading. Accordingly, when you need to make both a strip and a shading, we work with the base of the brush. Pulled up. It is best to hold two brushes in your hands at once. This is a small and a large one. With the small one, you make the details, and with the large brush, you connected your layers. The connection should be very smooth and very gentle, no pressure. You can take a lot of shade on a brush. Everything should be transparent. Use a clean brush to brush over the skin. For the lower eyelid, I will add a little bit of shine. So I use a flat brush. Took a shade and brushed off the brush. Apply to the rainbow area and a little to the inner corner, we apply flat. I apply color broadly. Don't be afraid to apply wide. You have room up to this point. When the eye is pulled up, it seems that it is a lot, but when the eye looks straight, everything is hidden in depth, so you get a small rim. Condensate the color with the second layer. I already see I am overlaying the second layer. We do the same with the second eye. I wipe off the brush and finish, and necessarily a light, small finish to the next color. Because if you don't complete the color, it will be difficult to blend the color. Of course, there are no such difficulties with pearlescent shades, but always train yourself in pearlescent and matte shades. You must keep clean. I take a purple shade and apply it to the lower eyelid. I apply it to the very depth and we combine the rest of the color with the previous color and with the upper eyelid.
С предыдущим цветом и с нашим верхним веком. Ровненько.
Let's add a little golden hue to the inner eyelid.
Самое внутреннее веко.
We will add a metallic effect to the finish of our matte velvet shadow.
Матовой бархатной теньки.
So that there is a glow in the corners of the eye and a matte lid on the movable eyelid. This is the perfect palette from Revolution, bringing together chic shades and chic colors to embellish. As the main palette, it is not at all, it is impossible for her to do makeup. But to decorate a smoky, a bride, any evening makeup, she is my favorite. It is budget-friendly, comfortable, and cool, so I recommend it. I love the shade, of course. All the shades are beautiful here, but this one is the most popular. I apply with the flat brush. I pick up a little and then add the shine with a strip.
И потом такую легенькую бубочку украшаем.
To make a combination beautiful, we need to apply the MAC pigment in vanilla shade to the fixed eyelid. This shade is suitable for everyone, and for a highlighter, it is also convenient and for the beauty of the transition to a fixed eyelid. We decorate our removable eyelid with a flat brush so that the color softly enters the skin. We put the brush at the highest point and then iron it all over our shading along the border. Take a fluffy brush and connect them a little. Time to add saturation to the makeup. I really love to highlight the eyes to make them even brighter. Therefore, we will make the mucus eye in a very interesting shade. It is aquamarine. This is my favorite color. The pencil is very small because I use it a lot. This pencil is from Kiko Milano in shade 11. I work carefully and very tightly work on the mucous membrane. If they have never done this, then they counted to 3 and released. If you apply it for a long time, the model may begin to water the eyes and may have tears and discomfort for the model. They applied and immediately rested. Please note that we are not just drawing a line. Don't do it like that. The mucous membrane should go into your shading. If the mucous membrane goes over your shading, then the makeup will immediately be saturated and contrasting and effective, and the eyes will not lose their volume. Therefore, with the second layer, we kind of lower the pencil and draw between the eyelashes, painting over a white strip. Gel pencils stick very well. How to determine if it is gel or oily? It all depends on the packaging. If the packaging of the pencil looks like plastic, not wood, then this means that the pencil is gel and it will adhere well to the mucous membrane and it will be soft. If at the base there is a tree, more often used lip pencils, then it will be more plastic, softener, and not resistant. It is good for the shape of the lips, for the shape of the eye makeup when we do, but of course you can also do eye makeup with gel, but then you should already be a professional. I take a black pencil to work on the mucous membrane of the upper eyelid. I pull the eyelid if twisting it. Be sure to lift up and you will see all the mucous membrane. Models don't get hurt at this point, so don't worry. It happens that it tickles. Be prepared that the model may be a little uncomfortable, but not from the pain. When the mucous membrane stands out, contrast appears, the effect of thick eyelashes appears, and the eyes look more saturated. The eyeball becomes whiter, so when it is white, the eye color is much more expensive. It turns out the color is bright, not makeup. I draw a thick eyelash line along the entire eyelash edge of the eyelid with a black pencil. I like to use Inglot number 77 liner or a pencil from Maybelline, as I like that it is soft, long-lasting richness. Black turns out to be very rich. I span it all over the eyelid, blending the borders a little, and if I'm driving it into makeup. I draw out the arrow while shading. There is no need to draw a clear line. I shade. I don't need an arrow here. I duplicate everything with black shadows. I take a small flat brush. I pick up the color, pull the eyelid down, and apply it to the borders of my makeup. I create the feathering.
И стушевываю, создаю тушевку в наш зеленый изумрудный цвет.
Saturation contrast of makeup is added.
Контрастность макияжа.
We draw a line and work on the space between the eyelashes, so that is not white.
Межресничную линию, да, чтобы она не была у нас белой.
Because any whiteness, especially when shooting, it is very visible. If you plan to work for magazines on camera, then this is very visible. Therefore, always work out this to do. Pay attention to this. I was subscribed to one photographer. I really like how he works, and he did a poll on Instagram and asked a question. What do you most dislike? For example, a pimple will not cover or something else. The photographer said he hates it when the eyelash line is not worked out. That is, it looks like a white stripe and it must be constantly retouched. I remember this very well, and now I always pay attention to this, even more attention. I blend with a small brush, create a subtle haze. At the end, the arrow is connected to the lower eyelid. I connect with black shadows and make chaotic movements.
Буквально чуть-чуть.
Next, we wipe off the shadows that are crumbling.
Вы этим защищаете свой макияж, поэтому очень удобно иногда делать сначала глаза.
If you are planning a very bright makeup, apply eye makeup first and then foundation. Let's get started with eyelash styling. I really love Kimsey and false eyelashes. They are basically the same eyelashes but under a different brand. Always look for such a pattern and know that these eyelashes have the best quality. I will be using 20D and the thickness of the eyelashes is 0.7. With this makeup, the brighter the makeup, the brighter the lashes should be. Don't make too many eyelashes, but at the same time, keep the eyelashes enough. I always glue eyelashes. I use dewy glue. It's a good glue for eyelashes. Be sure to tear the eyelashes off the head, pulled and set aside. Don't pull on the lashes themselves. I always start from the middle of the eye. I usually glue from the middle and +1 and it comes out for me 10, and then where the iris ends I do 12 and +1 here.
Там, где радужка заканчивается, обычно мне идет 12, но также +1 сюда.
We glue the eyelashes half 12.
Доводим десяточку до радужки, и после радужки у нас идет 12.
Also, pay attention that doesn't first we glue tightly to each other, then we retreat and then another eyelash. So that later there would be an opportunity to put longer eyelashes between 10 for a beautiful effect. Eyelashes smoothly merge into each other. Now I take 12, dipping it in a little in the glue and sticking it on. It is enough to take one part and put it on.
Не надо полностью там аж мочить в клей, достаточно просто одну часть взять и поставить. Макнули и поставили.
Pay attention to how the eyelashes lie. In no case should the eyelashes be lower than the lower eyelid. If you stick your eyelashes to the very end of your eye, then she will lower your eye. Be sure to watch the bottom line. The bottom line gives direction to the lashes and makeup. Therefore, we glued it to the end. Then we opened our eyes, looked at the model to see if it could be pasted more. It is best to make the lash eyelashes smaller so that we do not have the effect of a very, very strong shadow that will lower your eye.
Сильной тени, которая будет опускать вам глазик.
The last eyelash is in size 10 and up we have 12. Now we glue the second eye.
Чуть-чуть можем
Raise
приподнять.
slightly. The last eyelash 10.
Десяточка. Как глазки?
Now mascara. The eyes should look down, and I raise them a little and paint the eyelashes with the brush and mascara.
Реснички. И щеточкой с тушью. Зигзагами такими.
I paint over the eyelashes of the model with zigzags. There is no point in dyeing false eyelashes. I understand that sometimes you want to add brightness, but you don't need to. We made one layer and then we make the second eye. I advise you to always lift your eyelid because you can see the base of the eyelashes. Dye your lashes from the very edge so that there is no other tone. We look up. Apply to the lower eyelid. Now we will decorate our makeup. We will shape the face to make the eye makeup even brighter. Remember, the brighter the makeup, the more perfect the face should be. I absolutely love using the Youth Glow base from Charlotte Tilbury. I apply a small amount. You can apply it with a brush or you can apply it with your hands. I love to use these brushes. This base adds a beautiful glow, but by no means apply this base on a face with large pores. It can be applied to certain areas of the face, or it can be applied to the entire face. It is suitable for all ages. I will be using Dior Backstage foundation. I love this foundation because you can achieve the most beautiful effects. It can be applied a little bit or a lot. It doesn't make a mask effect. I really love about foundations when they do not create a cakey effect. When bright makeup, bright eyebrows, bright lips, full coverage, it will look very unnatural. If I apply a lot of foundation, I get a drama makeup. I love naturalness. I will mix in this glow from Charlotte Tilbury. This band has very interesting product. With this product, you will have luxury in your image. It looks very nice. Be sure to shake the tone and eye mix glow.
И в тон я чуть-чуть подмешиваю вот это свечение. Можно нанести локально на кожу, то есть на выступающую.
Can be applied to prominent parts of the face, but I like to mix and add as a detail. I take the same base brush, blend everything, and start applying on the face.
И начинаю тонировать сначала с общей плоскости,
moving all over the face and neck.
На шейку, когда уже кисточка абсолютно с первого нанесения чистенькая.
The product is beautifully shaded. With small movements, we do the shading. We take the product again, first the general plane, and when you feel that there is no product on the brush, then we move to the neck. Now I apply on the forehead. We distribute the tone and apply the rest to the décolleté area. If the model has some area open, then it must be selected according to the saturation with the skin color. If the body is closed, then we cannot worry and change the complexion beyond recognition. If the neckline is open, then there should be a connection. The model's forehead peels off a little, so we no longer do chaotic movements. I apply the product so as not to accentuate the peeling skin. Under the eyes, I like to use collarbones in shade 2. It has a fresh pinkish color. I apply it under the eyes with a fluffy brush. I first distribute the product and only then, when there is no product on the brush, I will blend along with the makeup. I blend along the border. Thus, you get both shading and a beautiful combination with makeup. We always combine shading not only on the lower grandson, but also extend to the temple, because we have shading on a motionless eyelid. I make sure to shade the inner part of the eye. Usually everyone forgets about it and the makeup is ugly shaded. Also in the area around the nose. If there are any imperfections, then with the cyan concealer, I correct the details. Here is the pimple. First, I apply, and then, when the product dries up, I distribute it. Pay attention to the neck. There are usually problem areas here, so it is necessary to carefully apply the product. When the product dries up, it lays down more steadily. Then we shade the borders. Remember that we will not remove the texture, but we must tone down the color. Usually students, clients think that everything can be hidden. But no, you can only hide the color. Now we make eyebrows. I like to do my eyebrows after makeup, after the tone, since I already see the saturation and shape of the eye, and accordingly, I select the shape that I need under the eyebrows. I choose what brightness should be. It's easier and more convenient for me. I always like to keep my eyebrows softer than makeup. I only add where we lack brightness. Where we are missing the form, where there is a gap. Pencil in shade C22 from Atelier. Eyebrows can be done with pencil or shadows. The pencil and shadows make the brows look more natural, more delicate. If you are using eyebrow lipstick, there will be a more aggressive effect. Now I need naturalness. I only add where I lack a shade. I always comb my eyebrow. Then I look at the brow. Here I add since the form is lost. I don't create highly defined eyebrows. Graphics are always the aggressiveness of the makeup. We have aggressiveness due to makeup, so if we also focus on brightness eyebrows, it will be an overly heavy image. And hairs with small strokes and create color.
Волосочки делаем цвет.
I really love Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow gel.
Очень люблю Анастасию Беверли Хиллз, именно гель такой, гелеобразный продукт для бровей.
It holds on perfectly, it holds hairs, and you can apply it wherever you want. Unlike soap, this product is more convenient because it doesn't need to be wetted. It is very convenient to use. I dip it into a jar and comb my eyebrow. This is a very good hold, holds very well. With this gel you can make any shape. Our brows lack volume, so I use Anastasia Beverly Hills in medium brown. This shade suits absolutely everyone as there are dark and light shades. The color is very versatile, so I work with light girls as well as dark-skinned girls. Overlay multiple layers if I need to make it darker. The model is slightly missing an eyebrow, then I will finish the shape a little. I haven't applied powder yet. I first need to assess the condition of my face. I need to look at the model and think about whether to make the skin look more matte or highlight it. The model has a normal face, not dry or oily skin. I will decide what effect we want. I worked with a more radiant base, so I don't need to remove this effect, and I go for a matte face. I will be doing a mirror coating. I love to use reflective powder. My favorite powder is Hourglass in dim light. I apply everything with a brush. The model's forehead peels off a little, so we don't do this kind of movement. I fix the makeup a little with these movements so as not to budge the correction.
Чуть-чуть коррекцию наших прыщичков, соответственно, чтобы их не сдвинуть с места.
I do these movements. I love this product from Bobbi Brown. It's a highlighter. I love that there are two shades here, pink and beige. I love to mix these two shades.
Люблю очень смешивать два оттеночка.
I barely apply it to the skin of my face. I didn't apply powder to the protruding parts of the face. I applied here and here. Here I have a wetter texture and the shine will be more beautiful. Do not overdo it with the highlighter. Now there is no longer this fashion for highlighters, so we impose a little product.
Поэтому просто вуалька, нежность, прозрачность, мы должны ее добиваться, но никак не перебарщивать.
I need to do the relief for the cheekbones, and I am using the palette from Dior Backstage.
Очень мне сейчас нравится палетка от Dior, да, Backstage.
There are light and dark shades here. A dark shade will not be used as often as these shades, but it will be mixed for people with dark skin. I mix these two shades with these movements. I turn my face and make such movements so that the foundation stays in place. It is best to do these movements we can make the cheekbones both more elongated and add thinner. If we want to make the face thinner, then we move this direction. But after the protruding bone, move a little more horizontally. Here we have the deepest part, and if we focus on it, then we will not have cheeks. The face will look thinner. I will not do this effect on the model as she has a thin face. I will tell you such tricks in the learning process. Forehead area. The forehead area we have is the direction of your bottom line, which you created by makeup. Eyebrows here, I darken and then shading. Necessarily the neck. Then with such a small brush but fluffy, it is flat, the brush doesn't have a lot of hair, and it is more movable. I take these two colors and darken the nose a little in the middle. Don't draw a stripe. I am doing a slight correction. I add a little bit of expensiveness, but don't overdo it. I really love this effect and this palette by Charlotte Tilbury. Here I have already run out of color. We draw a thin strip. The extra light makes the nose more expensive. The light rises and the shadow falls. The nose looks more graceful. I add blush from Melanie. There are products to look out for, and this brand is inexpensive. Very decent products. This blush is in shade 05. I apply it with these movements. If the décolleté area is open, then we will definitely work with this area. I love the product from Hourglass Ambient Metallic Strobe Lightning Palette. I put it on the décolleté and get a beautiful highlight. The result is a beautiful glow. Always remember that if you have an open neck line and perfect skin, but everything is dull here, it will not look harmonious. You should definitely add a glow. If it is here, then it should be here too. Shoulders, arms. If these bones are not visible on the model, then please bend a little. We are working on. I also applied this shade on the face. Now we're applying makeup. I'm using Makeup Forever. It moisturizes the face very well and fixes makeup. I put my hand out to feel how much product gets in. Always start spray from the side of the model. Do not spray directly in your face, because when a model has her eyes closed, she doesn't know what will happen now. Spray it from afar and slightly across the face. On the lips, I will apply matte lipstick from Estee Lauder in shade 112. I will apply it in an interesting way. As I want to have the effect of very natural lips, I took a fluffy brush and with these movements I distributed over the lips, just for the shade. Because if you have clearly defined lips, then it gives a heaviness to the makeup. If you want bright makeup to look more natural, then it is better to do eyebrows and lips very gently. The lipstick is matte, so we apply gloss from Victoria's Secret only on the area that can dry. A little and a little on the upper part of the lip. We have completed the makeup, but we need to finalize the image. The model wore a men's suit. This adds rigor and sexuality on the verge of aggressiveness, but at the same time very cute. The model wears accessories to complete the look.
Наш образ был полностью завершен. Добавили бижутерию. И теперь берем...
I take a large comb, apply gel and comb my hair, and we get a wet effect.
И сделаем прочес, добавим такого мокрого эффекта.
If this is a shooting, then it is enough to work with water. And if you want to maintain the effect longer, then use a gel. Since the hair dries quickly, be sure to remove all baby hair. Use a comb to get this effect. We have completed our makeup. We have got a colored Smoky. This makeup is suitable for shooting and for magazines and for any of your fantasies. In our lessons, I will talk not only about salon makeup and not only about creative makeup, I will also tell you my tricks for doing makeup on the set. We created an image with wet hair, everything shines beautifully here, but here we are no longer very interesting since here we have more salon makeup. What are we doing? I cover the clothes with napkins and I take sun protection spray. I warned the model that it will be cold and unpleasant now. Spray the skin, and what does the spray give us? The spray gives us a very beautiful glow for damp and expensive skin. If the model starts moving in the sun, the skin will glow. This trick looks flawless on the set. But if we're already working on the set, we added a wet effect here, then the skin only has a glow and it doesn't have a wet effect. I advise you to use this gel only on set. It may even be an expensive option, even jelly and hair gel, but warn the model. This is the most convenient option. We apply on the finger, turn the model's face and make such movements on the cheekbones, and we get a beautiful, wet and expensive effect. We do the same here, also near the eyebrow. You can nose and little on the bridge of the nose. One more point. You can leave dullness, you can make moisture. What do you like best? After you had a photo shoot with a wet skin effect on the face, on the chest, you can change the makeup and add either pigments of different shades or some kinds of cream shadow, which are more mousse. And they hold up well because the dry shadows won't blend into the texture as it is now. Or I can add the same wet effect that you see, and I decided to add a little shimmer of the chameleon pigment, which will glow under different lighting in different ways, in different shades. I apply the product only in the middle of the lid and I use a flat brush to apply the pigment. Then shake off the brush and distribute the borders. But create the effect in such a way that the shadow remains matte and all the shine is in the center of the eye.